Hello, hello. How is everybody? I want to make sure we're live before I do anything else. And it looks like we are. Cool. Let me type in a couple of things here and then we'll get started. Oops, didn't mean to push enter there. Bring it back here right and reach it. Okay, now I think we're ready. How is everybody? Okay, and it won't let me pin. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. This technology stuff's going to kill me, guys. Who all's out here? Let me see if I can see comments. Is anybody there? I see some people signing on. Who else here today? Hey, Pam. Thank you. I, they've changed everything, and I tell you, it's just been a kind of a I don't know. I shouldn't say what I'm thinking, right? But anyway, we're going to be making bows. Hello on TikTok. Thank you everybody for being here. And let me see if I can see my live on TikTok. I'm trying something else here today. Let me see. Well, it is cool. All right. So hopefully I can see your comments too over on TikTok. So this will be very helpful. I just have to keep toggling back and forth. So, and thank you for being patient while I'm trying to learn all this. And that's a frustrating thing. You get it all learned, and then they change it. So, all right. So anyway, I had a request. Somebody wanted me to show on the Easy Bow Maker how to make a inner loop um, on a bow. And, it's quite simple on the Pro Bow, and I've shown you that hundreds of times, or even making, but I don't think I've ever shown it on an Easy Bow Maker, and that's what she was requesting. So that's what we're going to do today. I am using this fall um, ribbon because I need to make another one of these bows. Um, I do have these two ribbons in my shop if anybody is interested. I did put a link to it in the comments on Facebook. I can't do that on TikTok, but it's at boxmybow.com. And make sure you read this note here. Okay, so anyway, so this is Easy Bow Maker, and if you're not familiar, it is. I think it's probably if you are really struggling with bows or have a lot of pain in your hand, something like this. This probably is the simplest to learn. I use it occasionally, just depending on what kind of style bow I am making. But for a beginner, probably this would be a good way to start. And this is where we're going to make our bow right here. And you can see down on the board, I'm hoping you can see, that there are marks where it shows you how big your bow loops are. So you can kind of stay reasonably equal on both sides. Now, I do have to say, though, there is a little bit of play with it. So you still got to kind of watch it. Um, and then right here, this is where we're going to be putting our ribbon roll. And this little peg, I don't ever use it. It's for just little tiny, like baby bows. Okay. All right. So, and once I get started here, I will keep on going making the bow, and then after I get the bow made, then I'll come back and answer any questions or address any comments. So as you think of it, go ahead and put your questions in the comments. And like I said, after I get done making the bow, I will come back and answer it. I get really distracted if I even look up once while I'm in the process of making it. And then it just is like a train wreck then after that. So, hey, Jesse, how are you? And there's Carol. Thank you guys for being here. And we've got Debbie, first time. Welcome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and start this bow. Now, I always talk about how to match our ribbons, and this, you know, you can match your ribbon or pull your colors out from, say, a sign, a flower, a wreath attachment, and sometimes I actually just pull it off of my ribbon. This actually is what I call my focal point. I found the ribbon before I found anything else, then I matched everything to this ribbon. I just think it's really beautiful. Fall colors, trendy. Blue is popular last few years during fall. And then it has also this kind of a rust or orangey color, and then a mustard yellow. And then you might, I don't know if you can tell, but it has a little bit of cream here. And then it has, I don't know if that's black or brown. It's hard to tell the hash marks here. I don't know whether that's black or brown. I suspect you could probably pair whichever ribbon you wanted with it, and it's going to favor that color. But anyway, I started with that. So I always like to throw in solids during my bow making. I feel like it kind of centers the bow and it helps you to better appreciate each one of the patterned ribbons. And I might put one or two. This time I'm going to do two. And for my other 2.5 inch ribbon solid, I wanted this rust. I just thought it would kind of make a more bold statement rather than if I would use a like a mustard yellow. The teal is or the blue is going to be kind of hard to match, so I didn't have one that was suitable, so I went with this rust. And then I also wanted another pattern, and I found this beautiful. It's a 1.5 inch, and all my wire. I always recommend using wired ribbon only for your bows. I think you're just setting yourself up for failure if you're trying not to use wired ribbon. But it pulls out the rust again, coordinates real well with the solid. Then it has this little kind of a gold shimmer in the center just to kind of jazz it up just a little bit. I just thought it was really pretty with it, and it kind of mimics the diagonal in the plaid. I typically will not, like if I have a plaid, I typically will not advise putting two plaids unless they are the same pattern and different sizes. Now that sometimes will work, but especially if you're a beginner, I would stay away from two of any similar pattern, like polka dots. Same thing. You don't want to mix two different size polka dots, and so on. But anyway, we've got this. So now I'm thinking I want another solid to break up these two patterns, and that's when I threw in this 1.5 inch mustard. And I just think it's really nice, warm fall color. So let's go ahead and get started on the bow. And as I said, this is the Easy Bow Maker. I'm going to zoom in here on Facebook for you. And this peg right here, this is where we're going to be placing our ribbon. And I always advise putting it on this the peg and letting the ribbon come off and away from you. And then the ribbon's not going to be, you're not going to fight with your space here. Now this bow is not going to have any tail, no long tails. And I'm just going to make real short ones. I am going to go ahead and dovetail it. To do that, I just take these two wired edges and I fold them together. This is the folded side. This is the wired side. And now I'm just going to cut at an angle. Now, if you'd rather, you can always wait till later to cut your, to dovetail your ribbons. That's fine. Okay, now I'm going to just put one loop on either side, I believe, of this ribbon. And I'm going to make about let's say about a 6.5 inch tail. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look down here. I've got 6.5 inches more or less, and right here is going to be the center of our bow. So I mark this, and that's what's going to start my tail. And I'm going to take this. I'm just going to pick it up. I'm going to put now if this was single-sided ribbon, meaning the pattern was only on one side, it'd be important that I put the pattern side facing away from me. But we just put it down there vertically. As we go down, we twist it. Okay, so there's our tail. It's out to 7. That's okay. I usually will come back afterwards and trim because, like I said, there's a little bit of play here, just because this isn't real, doesn't keep your ribbon as stable as, say, the Pro Bow does. Okay, now I'm going to come over here. We're going to make a loop, and I'm going to make about a 5-inch loop over here. And again, I'm measuring it right here against the 5 inches, and then I've got my finger here. That marks where I need to put my ribbon down the peg. And I'm going to hold my thumb over here just to make sure I don't move it. Take this down through here. We're going to twist it, push it down. Now I'm going to come over here, and as I said, I'm just putting one loop on either side of this ribbon. I'm going to come back over here. We're going to do the same thing. I found 5 inches. I'm going to mark it with my thumb. I've got my, I'm marking over here where the center is going to be. And now this time I don't have to twist it because this is the last loop I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pinch it. And I'm going to make sure that my sides are turned under. I don't want the sides turned like this. I want them turned under, and that's going to help your bow loop to stay nice. And I just set that down in there. Push it down so your center's good and tight. And we'll come over here. Since we made that one 7, we'll come over here 7, more or less. And let's go ahead and dovetail it. We're just going to fold that in half. Cut it at an angle, and it puts a nice finished edge on our ribbon. All right, now we've got the first layer done. I'm going to put that tail up there, and I'm going to bring this tail down here. And I try to do pretty much that way. I try to, if I've got a loop on one side, I try to pair it on the other side with a loop, and the same with the tails. We'll get that one out of the way. Now we're going to come in here with this plaid. And I put this on top because I want this just to highlight this really pretty ribbon here. If I put it down here, you're still going to see it, but it's not going to be highlighted. Okay, and it's so pretty, I wanted to be sure it's seen. And we're going to put that ribbon roll on there. Ribbon's going away from us. I'm going to dovetail it. Whoop, I didn't do that one very good. Didn't have it folded straight. Let's do that again. That's better. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do a 7-inch tail here. Again, this is what I was talking about, having a one-sided ribbon. And you can see the underside doesn't have the pattern on it. So that's when it's going to be important that we watch, we pay attention that the pattern is going to be facing away from us for the most part. All right, so we're going to come over here about 7. We've got it marked. Good sides facing away. We're going to twist it. Push that down. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit more ribbon off. And now we don't really have to measure with the board anymore. We can come over here with our other loop and compare it that way. So I'm going to come over here. I've got my finger marked. I'm going to take this, good sides facing away, twist it as we go down, push it down. Now this ribbon, I want to put 2 loops on either side just because it's so pretty. Okay, now we're going to come over here. We're going to compare. I've got my mark here. We're going to twist it as we go down. And we're going to repeat the process again. Compare our loop. Good side's going to go away. twist it, push it down. Now this is the last loop. So again, we've already got the good side facing us, so we don't have to twist it. So I'm going to come over here, compared it. Now I'm going to pinch it. Remember, trying to keep those edges turned underneath. Just set it down in there. Push it down. Now come over here about 7 inches, more or less. And see what I mean about the play? This is going to, the more ribbon you get in there, the more that's going to do that. Because those pegs kind of start splaying apart. That's just the nature of it. It's no big deal, but you just need to be aware of it. All right, so let's dovetail it. Okay, now we've got our second layer done. We're going to separate these loops. I want that solid color coming between these two loops here. And I've got a tail over here, so let's put this tail over here, opposite. Looks like I've got one tail longer than the other, but we'll address that later. Spread those out. And really, if you wanted to, you could stop right here. Now, I'm looking at it, and this is one good advantage of the Easy Bow Maker. I'm looking at it, and it looks like this loop here is a little bit long, or I'm sorry, a little bit short. So I'm just going to real gently start pulling that back. That might be why that tail over there was a little bit long, because that's the one it's attached to. Just pull it gently. Okay, as soon as you're happy with it, then you move on to the next ribbon. That's going to be our mustard solid ribbon. Again, I want to separate my two patterns. Now, all these that I'm telling you to, just know these are not hard and fast rules. This is the way I like to do it, but that doesn't mean I do it every time either. There are some instances when I'll change it up. So, just feel free to play around with it. All right, now this ribbon, you can probably see on the edge, it's already fraying a little bit. This is what we call a dupioni ribbon, and they will fray a little bit, and there's things you can do about that, but I will not dovetail this for that reason. I'm going to cut this just at an angle. Just like that. All right, now these ribbons, the next two I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to put one loop on either side. And then I've got to remember to show you how to do the center loop there on that one. Okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and now these subsequent layers, I want my loops to be a little bit smaller. We were at 5 inches here, so you could put them 4.5 inches, you could put 4 inches, whatever you like. I'm going to put my tail, let's just bring it out here just about to the 5-inch mark. And just like I did before, I've got my tail, or you can lay it on the table if you want to. I've got the good side facing away. I'm going to twist it, push it down. And notice I'm having to kind of hold it now because the ribbon is pushing itself up, and that these pegs are splaying, not slaying, splaying. All right, and I think I'm going to make these about, let me look here. Now I'm lining up my Easy Bow board with my cutting mat that I have, and because it's a little bit harder to see where my inches are. So I'm going to make this one about 4 inches. So I know 5's right here. So I'm going to come over here to about 4 inches, more or less. It does not have to be exact. All right, and I already put that down, good side spacing away. I'm going to twist it, push it down. You want to think to push it down every time you come in here and put another ribbon loop. All right, I come over here. There's about 5 inches. I want about 4, so I'm going to come over here and mark that. I've got my finger right there. I do not want to make another loop, so we're just going to pinch this with our edges turned under. We're going to set it down in there. Push it down. Come over here. We're going to just cut this at an angle about 5 inches, more or less. And that's it there. Let's spread these out. And I'm going to bring these solids in between these two loops here. The loops, that is. The tails will go opposite. Now, this is the one I got to remember to show how to do the inside loop. Right? Well, because I usually, if I'm going to do that, I either do it by hand or I do it on the Pro Bow. I don't usually do it on the Easy Bow, so that's why I got to try to remind myself. Now I'm going to go ahead and dovetail it. Okay, and let's come out here about 5 inches again. I'm just going to hold it here. This is also is a one-sided ribbon. I'm going to put it down, good sides facing away. One loop on either side. We're going to twist as we go down. Push it down. I'm going to just come over here. I'm going to do the exact same here, or I could make it a little smaller. I would not make it larger, but you could make it a little smaller if you want to. Actually, I kind of like that look, so let's do that. So let's make that about a, let's see, that was 4 inches. Let's go 3.5 inches, more or less. Okay, we've got it marked. We're going to put good sides facing away, twist it, push it down. Come over here, about 3.5 inches. We're going to pinch it. Oh, wait, no, I want to put, no, I'm doing one more loop. I forgot. See, I knew I was going to forget that. Okay, let's twist it. All right, now to make the inside loop, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to do exactly what I've been doing. Only this is going to be the last loop, okay? So I'm going to make this quite a bit smaller. Just like that. I'm going to pinch it. And then I'm just going to set it down in there. Okay. All right, and let's see, how long did I make my tail there? About 5 inches. Let's just come over here. We'll measure against it. Let's dovetail it. Okay, now we need to get this off the board. And we're going to need a way to secure it. So I've got a zip tie. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go underneath all this ribbon. And I'm going to put this zip tie through these pegs diagonally like this. I'm going to make sure that this little knob here, if you can see that little knob, I'll make sure that that is pointing downward, down toward my feet. And make sure you get all the ribbon up off of here. All right, and I have it come out the other side. So now I'm going to just slide this over the top, just like that. And I'm going to cinch it. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down at this point. I'm just going to kind of tighten it just a little bit where I can then slide it up. Get this out of the way. And I still got a pretty good hold on all my ribbon. Cinch it down to where it's just snug enough where you can let a little pressure off. You're still going to hold that ribbon though. And we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to start arranging our loops and our tails. Just work your way up. Remember, I want to make sure that I've got the pattern straddling the solid loop. That's just the way I like it. So if you don't like that, if you want to do something different, you can do that. I'm just showing you how I do it. Okay. Go up a layer here to the mustard ribbon now. And now we're ready for this one. And I'm going to bring these guys diagonally. Let's bring this tail this way, and we'll bring this tail this way. And we've got our inside or inner loop there. Now, if you're happy with it, and it doesn't have to be set in stone at this point, you'll still be able to maneuver it a little bit after you actually tighten it back down. And you'll keep fussing with it. All right, I'm going to turn it over now. And I need some way to connect it to my wreath, my lantern, whatever I'm going to put it on. So I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. You could also use another zip tie. And I'm just going to slide that right underneath of that zip tie. Turn it right back over. Make sure everything's still kosher. Tighten it. Okay. Now I'm going to take my wire nippers here and trim off the edge of that zip tie. Okay, now I can come here and use two hands a little bit better to distribute everything the way I want it. I'm missing a tail. There it is. Okay. And I'd probably trim this. I don't like the length on this. If it has its inside, I usually like to make them somewhat shorter. I'm going to shorten this down. Just however you like it. I like them a little bit short. I like them kind of short and kind of perky looking. Got one a little bit longer. Shorten that a little bit more. And there is how you put an inside loop on a bow with the Easy Bow Maker. Get that all spread out here and make it nice and pretty. Okay, I'm going to look through and see if I see any questions now. Oh my goodness, Ethel May, it's 3 degrees there and frost. We're supposed to, what is today? Today's Tuesday. I think tomorrow, we're supposed to turn, no, not tomorrow. I think Thursday. We're supposed to turn cool. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you. Your video's stopping and cutting out. Is that anybody else having trouble? Hey, Vince. Oh, thank you, Valerie. In and out every 2 seconds. Good grief. I tell you, it has been really a problem. Really a problem with the technology. Hey, Evelyn. There's Sharon. Oh, Marilyn, you got your notification. Good deal. Hey, Kathy. Okay, I'm going to come over to TikTok, see if I have any questions over here. Oh, thank you for following, you guys. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions? Gosh, we've got a lot of people joining in. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Any questions? Oh, thank you, Vince. Yes, it is gorgeous. And it feels like it's a satin, but it's really thick. It's a thick satin. It's a nice satin. You know, I usually don't like satins. But all right, so like I said, I do have this ribbon and this ribbon in my shop paired together. And I will be also listing this gorgeousness here in a little bit. I just ran out of time this morning. But I'll be listing this. It's a 4-inch velvet ribbon. There's how it handles a loop. I just ran out of time. It has kind of a gold edge to it, kind of a stitched edge, but it's a really nice ribbon. So I'll be listing a couple of those later today, and then I've got some others also. I've been so busy, I just haven't had time to go through all of my ribbon orders I've gotten in, and then I'm supposed to get another order in tomorrow. So yeah, there's all kinds of gorgeousness going on around here. All right, anybody else had any questions? And like I said on Facebook, I did put your code in the comments. It's a pinned comment there. It's good for today only. And TikTok, you guys can see it right here. Let me see if you can see it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Leslie. All right, any other questions? All right, I don't see any. So, okay, well, that's all I have time for you today. Unfortunately, I wanted to come on here and make sure I got that request done. And like I said, I'll be adding some more ribbon to boxmybow.com later today, and then also some bows as well at my other Etsy shop. So if you have any questions, just shoot me a line. I'll be happy to help you as best I can. And group members who are here, remember we've got our wreath critiques at 3 o'clock in the group. And I'll send out an alert also. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.